Since Nigel Farage announced that he was going to abolish indefinite leave to remain, which is a British law that allows someone who has lived in the country for 5 years to just stay here indefinitely and apply for citizenship and gain access to our benefit system and everything else that we provide, people have been freaking out, frankly. The establishment has been really going quite nuts at him. But I think this is actually a really good idea, and obviously it needs to be done. Because, Farage came out and said, look, this is going to save us £234 billion if we just stop foreigners from claiming benefits. And then, in addition to the indefinite leave to remain being scrapped and the double the work visa salary threshold and other things. And this is obviously something we have to do. It just can't be that we are an international welfare state for the entire world. We just can't do that. We're just not wealthy enough to do that, frankly. And it's kind of mad that we've got to make the argument that actually maybe we shouldn't just be paying for foreigners to live here. Because, of course, no one would think we're under any obligation to do that. They're not under any obligation to pay for me to live in their shitty countries. Why am I under an obligation for them to live in my shitty country? The reason my country is becoming shit is because of this. It's because we have to spend so much goddamn money. And then it's about the space they take up and about the fact that people don't want to live around them. And so they move. And so the area gets run down because they don't care about it because it's not theirs. And even if it was, look at the countries they're coming from. Often they don't take care of their countries. So I'm sorry, this is just mad. We're under no obligation whatsoever to pay for any of this. And yet here we are. So anyway, Farage said that the rules would stop endless cheap foreign labour, which would be good for the domestic British worker. And everyone was like, well, that sounds like it might benefit the country. So I'm against it. I'm completely against it. I completely hate everything you're doing. What, are you going to send the Europeans back? And he was like, no, we'll have an exemption for 4.2 million EU citizens who have settled status. Which, I don't see why. Sorry, but they're foreign too. I'm not saying that they have to be kicked out or anything, but all I'm saying is, why actually do we have to make an exemption for those people? There'll be an argument like, well, the Europeans are net taxpayers, and say, okay, fine. We can make an exemption for the Europeans, they're net taxpayers. Fine. But everyone freaked out about this policy. Everyone freaked out about it, saying, oh, well, I don't know. Actually, no, you won't, Nigel Farage. Those numbers are wrong. It's like, all right, is it zero? Is it zero that would be saved? Is it? If it's any number greater than zero, then I'm up for it. Any amount of savings, any at all, would be preferable, actually. And for some reason, they've just decided that if Nigel doesn't have the exact figure, again, this is all provisional, this is all estimated, because it hasn't been done yet, so it can't be calculated yet. So it's all inferential. But anyway, everyone was like, no. It claims the plan would raise $234 billion, came under scrutiny after the think tank that produced the figure, or the estimate, said the figure was based on old data and no longer valid. The Labour Party called it half-baked. It's falling apart in real time. It's like, dude, if it gets a tenth of that, that's better than not. 1% of that would be better than us spending all the money that we're spending. This is ridiculous. And this data came from the Centre for Policy Studies. And they issued a clarification going, actually, we're shit. And actually, we were using the wrong numbers. So don't listen to us because Nigel Farage decided to take it and actually make a policy regarding it. As they say, part of the research calculated a ballpark figure for the net financial cost of the hundreds of thousands of migrants who will soon be eligible to apply for the indefinite leave to remain. Okay, so the ballpark figure was somewhere in the region of 234 billion, was it? That was the ballpark figure. £250 billion. You reckon roughly, give or take, that it might cost the British taxpayer to allow these people to stay here permanently. Are we mad? Are we fucking mad? And then you're like, oh no, that you can't trust our data because we're insane, you see. We're the Centre for Policy Studies. We're completely bonkers. Oh, this is old data. Yeah. That probably means that the real numbers are way worse. But yeah, no, this is old data. Don't you worry about it. I can't imagine that things got better since that data was done. But anyway, after the report was published, the Office for Budget Responsibility revised their definitions of some fiscal data contained within our report, meaning that the overall cost estimates should not be used. Right, so are they zero? Did they redefine some of their fiscal data to be nothing? Did they? And the thing is, do I trust the Office for Budget Responsibility? Not really. It was set up by Cameron and Clegg, who themselves hardcore Blairites. So basically, another quango was set up, funded by the UK Treasury, to continue the system that wants unlimited immigration and expects you to pay for it. This is just another part of the, again, I don't have a better word for it, the quangocracy, the deep state, the system itself that is currently destroying our country. This is just one pillar of it. And when they thought, oh, we can use it against itself, no, they were just like, no, we've changed some definitions around now. So actually, you're not going to save 234 billions. There'll be no savings. Your plan's falling apart, Nigel. There's no point trying to do this. These people need to stay here forever, and you have to pay for the privilege. What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? Why would it? Are we suggesting that actually there's nothing to be gained from this? Nothing at all. There's nothing to be said, nothing to be done. Oh, yeah, don't worry about the Centre for Policy Studies. They use bullshit data with bullshit definitions based on people who can just change them and make the whole thing evaporate into the air. Are we saying that there's nothing serious here that could be done? And the answer is, of course, no. The answer is, of course, that we obviously should do this. And this is obviously the system trying to protect itself from change, from God only knows why the system is insistent on flooding our country with dependents that we have to pay for. God only knows, right? I'm not even interested in trying to divine in the tea leaves what their possible motivation for this is, but it's self-evident that they've come out and gone, oh yeah, no, don't trust our numbers. We're ridiculous. Look at the Office of Budget Responsibility. They've defined our numbers out of existence, and therefore it's so clearly the system reacting to what it perceives to be an attack on itself. And so they're like, okay, no, Nigel Farage is wrong. He can't possibly do this. This is complete nonsense. Like, no, Nigel Farage is obviously right. He is obviously right on this. We should obviously make it so that foreigners can't claim benefits in this country. We should obviously make it that the Boris wave do not have our permission to stay indefinitely. Because it's not like they're contributing properly anyway. I see them all over the place. And we know that we're paying £1 billion a month in benefits to foreigners. We know that we are. And look at it. Look at it, just keeps going up. Woo, thanks, Boris. And Boris came out the other day on the Sun podcast or whatever it was to defend it. He was like, oh no, it's good that they're here. It's like, no, fuck you, Boris. You're a giant traitor and you're costing us literally £1 billion a month. This is mad, isn't it? This is absolutely mad. And this is just in universal credit payments. There are loads of other kinds of benefits that we give out. Absolutely loads. And what that means, that's going to 1.3 million foreigners who are claiming that. Again, more than $1 million a month. More than $1 million a month. And the Tories have the temerity to be like, you're losing control of our welfare system. Sorry, well, who was in charge here? And here, and here, and here. And all the way up till, where was it? About here, in fact, when Keir Starmer got in. Who was in charge then? It was you. You did this. You allowed this to happen. It was Boris Johnson that did this. Your Prime Minister who did this. Just honestly, this has just got to stop. The people who are claiming this money should just be deported. They shouldn't be here. They're not contributing. They are literally just a net deficit to the country. And the thing is, it's not like we don't have the numbers, right? So this is from the Telegraph last year. And this chap goes through the numbers. So there were 242,000 skilled worker visas that went to low-wage migrants in recent years, right? And just 91,000 high wage. So we took in, since about 2020, we've taken in net, gross about 5 to 6 million immigrants, right? That's crazy. And as far as they can tell, a very small number of those have gone to high wage skilled immigrants. So if we be really generous and say 200,000 in the year of 2022 to 2023, if you say that that's the same for each year, then okay, maybe out of that 1/5 of them were skilled workers, maybe 1/5. Again, being very, very generous. And so they point out, by the age of 81, for every pound contributed to the Treasury by the high wage migrant group, the larger, lower wage migrant group will have taken out £1.60. So It is just not in our benefit in any way, shape, or form, whether it's the revenues to the state or whether it's the actual ability of people to get jobs at lower levels of employment, or just the social fabric of the country. There is no benefit whatsoever to flooding our labour market and our country with low-skilled workers. There is just no reason to do it. It is just not good. It is bad. It is just a bad thing to do. There is no benefit to this whatsoever. And so, I mean, I don't even know how much this is costing us in total, but it's going to cost us, well, probably hundreds of billions, which brings us back to Nigel's number. Actually, 234 billion doesn't sound like an unrealistic amount that this is going to save us overall, does it? It actually sounds pretty bloody reasonable. And the thing is, that's just on people who are like legally here. Obviously, we've got the illegals. And the Home Office is just like, yeah, well, we're expecting to spend, sorry, what were they expecting to spend? £110 million on asylum, border, visa and passport operations. Yeah, okay. Turned out that was 2.6 billion a year. And actually last year it was 4 billion nearly. And next year they're like, I don't know, like, or this year even, they're estimating to spend about the same, but it's probably going to be more, let's be honest. And so, okay, 4 billion a year. How long for? How long do we expect this to go on for? Again, after 10 years, it's £40 billion. Like, sorry, are we just going to do this forever, are we? Are we literally, we may as well just take all of our money and just put it in a big pile and set fire to it. Because that's what we're getting out of this. And if we just set fire to all of our money, so we became literally an impoverished Africa-style third world country where we're going back to living in the forest or something, at least there'd be far fewer migrants raping people on the streets, right? There'd be far fewer people who would get attacked by migrants in hotels. If we would just set fire to all of our money and burn down our entire country, at least fewer children would suffer from it. Like, which is genuinely mad, isn't it? It's genuinely mad. Anyway, I know I'm being hyperbolic now, but it's just like, I'm so sick of this system that's just deliberately and willingly going to piss away my money. And Nigel Farage is a very moderate chap, all things considered, and he is just suggesting that actually the people who Boris let in to be dependents upon us and cost us God only knows how much money, who shouldn't be here, shouldn't be allowed to stay here forever, and maybe people from overseas shouldn't just be allowed to be able to parasitize on the welfare state in Britain. Totally reasonable, and the entire system has gone to the extent of discrediting itself and retracting away and saying, no, that's the one thing we can't do. Why? You're absolutely mad. We have to do this. It has to be done. So honestly, and there was a poll that Matt Goodwin posted today where Nigel Farage Reform are on 33%. Labour and Tories are on like 17 and 14%. And that was a poll from yesterday. So the news was already out and everyone was already freaking out. So God only knows, hopefully the British public is smart enough to be like, yes, obviously we need to abolish indefinite leave to remain. And yes, obviously foreigners shouldn't be able to claim our benefits.